everybody, and welcome to Hex Token channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Woohoo! Let's go. All right, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Let me pull in some of the cool things, and let's see how we get on here. Good morning to you from good old Hex Token in the house. And bam, there we are. Woo. All right, I don't think we're quite there. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, folks. And bam, there we go. Woo! Welcome to the show. That's just the way we go. And I hope you guys are having a good day out there. What day is it here on Tuesday in good old Kiwiland? The 1st of November already. We have already arrived November, and of course 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon, lunchtime. The sun is shining. It is booming outside. Summer is coming for us. We've had, obviously around this time, we get a lot of rain in good old New Zealand. And yeah, it's just starting to get warm outside. I'm going out after this live stream. I'm going to do my training and get myself up to speed. It's going to be a lot of work, but hey, if no pain, no gain. That's how we say, no pain, no gain. That's pretty cool. So we're going to have a bit of fun here, folks. We're going to obviously talk about the stock market, the crypto market, the Hex ecosystem. We're going to get into some of the projects that are in the Hex and Pulsechain ecosystem, some of the airdrops, including Poorpleb, and of course Pulse Kittens as well. Thanks to one of the community members for highlighting the Pulse Kittens. So we're going to talk about that briefly as well. It's on testing at the moment. So we're going to have to do a little bit. I might do a separate video on each of those later on this afternoon. So a short video covering that. And we also got the Hex Daily Stats coming up as well. So stay tuned for all of that. It's going to be pretty cool. Let's get into the chat though and see who's in the house. Woohoo! Now I'm wanting to do some studio changes and stuff like that. So I might end up reformatting the live stream. So hopefully that's going to be pretty cool as well. A big welcome from me, Hex Token as well. Sarah G in house. I'm on time today. Good to see you, Sarah G. Yeah, you got in towards the end yesterday, but it's nice to see you nice and early today. Brennan says, hello, howdy, suit man. Good to see you, Brennan. KD in the house too. Good to see KD. Lost in crypto. Woo-hoo-hoo. Getting excited. I like that. That sounds pretty good to me. We got Ted in the house as well. Morning, suit man. Hey, everybody. Shano as well. Woo! Getting excited. And Brennan as well. Hey, they should be a Kiwi flag on the hat. Says Brennan. Yeah, it should be. The country's cool. It's just our government is absolutely horrible. Michael Racine in house there. Hey, good to see you, Michael. And what else we got there as well? Very cool. All right, so we're going to get into it, folks. What are we going to get? We've got the stock market here. Dow slips, but notches best month in decades. Fed in focus. I've said to you guys that I think we've been very lucky with the stock market and the crypto market, despite the volatility and everything else, and the bear market. We've actually been pretty lucky under the circumstances, in my view. And of course, we're going to be tracking that on, tracking the markets for quite a long time to come. Particularly with we had a very green days last week, and we are expecting recession next year. I think we're pretty much around a 90% chance of recession next year, despite the really positive GDP that we had. So we're going to have to watch the markets pretty closely as well. Let's have a look at the results. We've got the Dow Jones for Monday in the US time, of course, is Dow Jones down 0.4%, 129 points there to 32,732. That Dow Jones, the top 30 industrials in the United States, that's actually holding up really well, folks. The fact that this is up over almost 33,000, that's impressive given what's going on in the world and the financial markets, etc. Interest rates, monetary supply, all that sort of stuff. The S&P 500 is down 0.75%, 29 points to 3871 on the index. And the NASDAQ, with all those tech companies in it, is down 1% at 114 points, down to just below 11,000 at 10,988. So really a little bit of risk off there, a little bit of nervousness as we come up to the Fed interest rate hikes. We're going to talk more about that in a second. Now, obviously, the dollar index, so US dollar is the reserve currency of the world. And of course, that is been appreciating versus its competitors. This has caused a little bit of trauma to a lot of central banks in other countries, New Zealand being one of them, with the rate of rate hikes. And of course, the exchange rates have been falling. Now, this is great if you're taking crypto off back into fiat, but it's not so fun if you're taking fiat dollars, taking your native tokens, fiat, and buying US dollars equivalent assets. That's not much fun because your value of your dollar is becoming, as we say, is like what we say in Mexican peso, It's becoming devalued, although Mexican pesos probably doing a lot better. I haven't actually checked that recently. So the dollar index there is up 0.8%, and of course up to 111.48. But that is a significant issue, particularly around your profits and returns, is whatever relative dollar you're getting. If you're in the US, you're getting obviously dollar to dollar, but if you're in, say, Australia, New Zealand, somewhere else, your dollar's moving relative to the US. So it can be a win or a loss. At the moment, it's a win if you're removing, as I say, transferring crypto back in, crypto profits, or hopefully back into your native dollars. Let's jump over to the commodities. We've got Brent oil there down almost 1% at 90 cents, down to $92.87. And of course, if we have a look at the last month on the Brent oil, we can see that we were all the way near the beginning, up on the 8th there, we're up at $98.43. We started the month really low though, 87.41, and had a big rally at 98. That's pretty dramatic in only a week's time. And then of course we've been zigzagging down a bit lower here, and currently at $94, obviously with the OPEC cartel booming. I think it was it 2 million barrels cut? I can't remember now, something like that. The West crude oil there, West Texas, down slightly too, to $86 there as well. So a little bit of reprieve there in the oil prices. Gold down at down $5.40, almost 1/3%, down to $16.35. Silver down to $19.10, and that's pretty much it on the commodities. And let's jump over to I never go through the bond rates, but we might do that in the future. The bond rates are right here, and we can see the 10-year is at 4%. What's the US 10-year note at 110 there? So, yep. Let's jump over to the commentary. The Dow slipped Monday, pressured by tech, but notched its biggest monthly gain in decades as investors shift attention to the Federal Reserve decision later this week. So the Dow slipped Monday, pressured by tech, but notched its biggest monthly gain in decades as investors shift attention to the Fed Reserve decision later this week. And you can see the title of my video, Hex Price Becomes Shy in the Face of the Coming Fed Rate Hike. So we're going to talk about that shortly too. We had a 6% slump in meta platforms led by the fall in tech after mostly disappointing quarterly results from big tech. Alphabet, Apple, and Microsoft were down 1%. This is very important. Obviously, Apple had a bit of a rebound last week, but this is very important. These are the ones that make up a lot of the value in the indicators as well. Falling semiconductor stocks also exacerbated the wobble in tech, following pressure from advanced micro devices, NVIDIA, and ON Semiconductor Corporation. So a lot of your chips and your computers having an issue there. ON Semiconductor Corporation fell 9% despite quarterly results that bet both top and bottom line in guidance that was in line with Wall Street estimates. Meanwhile, Treasury yields, which we kind of just briefly talked about, steadied after falling last week as investors look to start the Fed's two-day meeting on Tuesday that is expected to culminate in the decision to lift rates by 75 basis points at the fourth meeting in a row. So that'd be four times 75, pretty impressive there. Taking us up to 3.75%, I believe, on the federal funds rate. But the focus will be on what comes next. In other words, what's coming up in the future. And we expect Chairman Powell to hint that the FOMC will likely slow the pace to 50 basis points in December, which is in line with what we've been saying on this channel for some time, 75 basis points for November. And it would be a surprise if we got 50 basis points. Like I said, the only rationale for that would be the midterms, in my view. And then, of course, 50 basis points in December, and then maybe 25 basis points in February next year. We will see. Obviously, some of the investment banks tried to scare the market with 5% federal funds rate rather than 4.5%. And of course, some people call that manipulation. They definitely, I'll tell you what, they definitely manipulate. I've seen that play out before, but sometimes they're just doing commentary as well. So there we are. What else? The energy stocks sidestepped the broader market malaise after striking off a decline in oil prices as OPEC lifted its forecast on oil demand in the medium and longer term. So they got increased to the forecast, but pulling back the prices. They're maxing out that oil price, folks. And of course, the United States administration moving the United States for the first time under the previous administration from self-sufficiency have transferred the power back to the OPEC. So it's just a bit crazy, really. All right, so cool. That hits you at the pump. So if you're happy with that, that's fine, but you're paying for it at the pump pretty much. All right, let's jump over to the Fed watch at the moment. 1 day and 18 hours to go until the Fed interest rate meeting. And of course, we're going to find out what the interest rate rise will be. Obviously, the majority of people are expecting 75 basis points but of course, still day in 18. Really, this is kind of a risk-off period, and we saw that in the stock market indices. There's a bit of risk-off, and of course, the Hex price also a bit shy. We'll get to that in a second. So 1 day and 18 hours left to go. Let's see how we're going. We've got BTC at 20,526, so it hasn't fallen yet, but of course, we've been following the El Capo of crypto, a very good trader out there, expecting us to do a bit of a little double top and then a retrace and maybe get by the middle of November, get us down to 14K. So we'll see how we go on with that forecast. So far, it's been pretty accurate. We certainly haven't been able to go for 21,000. That's a big worry in my view. And of course, I'm expecting it to go down from here. We've got ETH there at 1571, down 1.3%. BNB, on the other hand, is rallying there, up again, 4.66%, up to $328. Looking very, very nice. We got Dogecoin also holding up its price after its big rally. It's down, definitely down from the top, but that's up 7% still over 24 hours at 12.6, so holding up quite nicely, given the fact that it's rallying on Elon Musk and the Twitter takeover there as well. Looks like Elon wants to be the CEO of Twitter as well, which I think is a good move, and so forth. So obviously, the liberal mainstream media attacking him and free speech. They hate free speech. They only want their worldview to be in play. So everybody else is hate speech. Everybody else is bad. Everybody else are terrorists. But they are apparently the holy grail, even though they're the ones doing everything they're saying everyone else is doing. But there we are, folks. That's where we are at the moment. And anyone that's up for freedom, we like that. So I'm very excited about the takeover there. Hopefully we'll get a bit more freedom and get us back to normal, where the best ideas win, right? You want a place where the best ideas can win out. All right, let's have a look at the Hex ecosystem. Let's get rid of that. What have we got here? 24 hours here. We've got 216 sells on Hex at the moment. We got 190 sells, 216 buys with a 3.8 million volume at the moment. We're down 3.3% on the 24-hour basis on Hex, and just up slightly in the last hour there. But that's kind of our candle at the moment. So let's get rid of that now, and let's pull over the Fibonacci, and let's have a look here at the Fib. And we can see that we're down, just right about 40% there on the Fib. So not really a major retrace back to 50% or thereabouts. So 50% would be 4 cents, but in the 61.8, which is typically, we see that a lot happen, and that would be down at 3.8 cents. So I think that if it does decide to pull back in the Fed, maybe the 3.8 cent mark is a good place for it to bounce off. If it does pull back on the Fed within the next day and 18 hours. As we showed you, there's only a day and 18 hours to go. So maybe if the news is fairly bullish, if the outlook further in December and so forth is a bit of a pivot, less hawkish, and of course more dovish, and then we may get a nice little another bear rally, as it were, another bear rally, and that would be bode well, right? That'd be bode pretty well for all crypto. There, we'll be watching out for that. So pretty much like releasing a valve and letting the pressure out. So that's pretty much it. All right, so that's kind of Hex there. Let's have a look at the wider view of Hex and zoom on this, and let's see where we're going in the time ahead. So maybe, like I said, maybe we might get down to 3.8 cents there on Hex over the next 2 days, say. If obviously we get some release, then maybe we can curve back up here, and away we go. So the other thing, of course, we've got that Fed rate hike coming up here, not too far away, 1 day and 18 hours. We've got the midterm elections on the 8th, and the polls are going the right direction at the moment, and nice to see that. So we're looking forward to getting back to the House and the Senate and getting some normalcy in there in the decision making there. Now, obviously, what else we got there? We've got the 10th of November is the inflation numbers. That's very important too. Obviously, that's going to be the October results. And remember, September was at 8.2%. So obviously, we want to, if we get a natural sort of reduction there, say down to 8% or 7.9, something like that, that'd be very nice. And looking forward to that. So that's coming out too. Obviously, if that's high as well, that's negative. And of course, that would mean that people would get more volatile. So this is what I mean. We've got to get through these two events, the interest rate hikes in 2 days, and of course, the inflation there coming up on the 10th there. So it's only a little while away. Let's have a look here. It's about 9 days away with the inflation as well. So we're watching that one too. Obviously, the Hex HSI auctions are coming up on the 13th. It's getting ever so close, isn't it? Ever so close. And of course, we've got that coming up there 12 days away. So it's getting close there. Once we get past this Fed rate hike as well, that maybe we'll eventually get that Hedron rally. We certainly haven't seen it yet. So maybe after the Fed comes out, after we have a good idea what's coming up for the future, we might finally get that rally. That being said, of course, maybe all the big whales have bought. Maybe we might get a little bit of retail buying, a few little large holders. Maybe we just don't quite get that rally. We'll talk more about that in the Hedron price. Pulsechain V3, of course, when's that going to come out? Hard to say. We'll just have to wait for Richard. That's kind of a placeholder there. That'd be a bullish sign for Hex if we get any indication of a Pulsechain V3, because that would mean that we're not testing on the Binance Smart Chain, but on the ETH proof of stake chain. That would be a big bullish sign. And particularly Richard's indicated that'd be shorter. So when's it going to come out? Don't know. I've just got it here in November sometime. And of course, a bit like opium, we'll just be patient there. Maybe it's going to come out much later. We will see. We've got the Richard Hart end of the bear market here, the 21st of November. Maybe that'd be a nice little pivot there for Hex as well. Maybe we might get a bit of a wild card like we've already seen back here. Nice little reset here in liquidity and the Hex Gold Whale, things like that. Maybe we might get a little wild card here and later in November, especially after the interest rate hikes to come out as well. So I'm feeling optimistic there as well. Yeah, and especially if we do get that pullback. Remember I said by mid-month, if a capo of crypto is right and we get the 14K, or even if we get to Richard Hart's 11K and pray, nothing's inevitable there. But if let's say we get to 14K, then maybe that's our bounce and that's the bottom of the bear. We will see. It really will depend on the interest rate hikes as well, the sentiment, remember, going forward. When are they going to stop? They're going to stop at 4.5% federal funds rate. That's still pretty high in absolute terms. That would probably get us to what, 8.5%, 9% on the residential rates. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. The other one here at the moment, RH end of the bear. So we'll be watching that too. Obviously, we've got the Hex third birthday coming up as well. And that's on the 2nd of December there. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, we'll be in our 4th year after that, which will be pretty exciting. We may also get the Highest of Stakes documentary, but that is a bit more complicated than people. I know they've said we hope by the end of the year, but of course they are in the distribution phase. We just saw them do their orchestra bit to add the music overlay to the final production. But of course, they need to make deals, and deals are not always just we're playing for December. We've got distribution deals with streamers. If they do get some streamers, some of these top streamers, then that may or may not launch at Christmas time. We'll see what the timeline for that will be. Obviously, they've got security deals and so forth, so we wish them the best for that one on the highest stake. But that could be pretty bullish, and of course, that could be a nice lead into Pulsechain, depending on when Pulsechain comes out. So we'll be playing around with that. The other thing around Pulsechain, obviously, launch here. I've got the second Fed rate hike here on the 14th. Will we get that 50 basis points? And will that be pretty much close to the end of the rate rises? You got to remember that they are kind of boxed in, right? There's massive public debt, over 30 trillion. That is, increasing the cost of debt per day. There is limits to what they can do, right? So we'll be watching that as well. Then, of course, Pulsechain launch. I've got here Hopium. Maybe if we get that in December or January, that's a bit of Hopium there. That'd be pretty nice up to the highest of stakes. So we kind of look for that. The other thing, of course, is that in March, at the end of March, I think we've got the V3 liquidity licenses will be open rather than closed at the moment. So maybe that will be something that would either get added on to Pulsechain, which will probably may be the case rather than waiting for that to launch. Maybe they just use some approximation. We'll see whether they trying to launch as fast as possible. Really, if they're launching the proof of stake, what do they have to change? They have to change. Maybe they're trying to change the S-load function fees. Maybe because now they control those. Maybe they're going to change, add the 0.25% fee for the burn for the for Pulse, and that's pretty much it. I mean, what else are they going to be doing? A few little other optimizations. So hopefully we can be optimistic and get this out sooner than later, and not have to wait for things like open licenses for Uniswap version 3. So we'll see. That'd be pretty interesting to find out. Now, obviously, we've got a pancake swap front end for Pulsex, and the AMM bot. Theoretically, if they've already done an estimation model for V3, then maybe they can just launch and just get onto it. So yeah, that's sort of the optimistic stuff. We'll see how we get on there. That's kind of Hex at the moment. So cool. Yeah, like I say, at the moment in short term, maybe we bounce off that 61.8 depending on average news. Like, we get 75 basis points, then 50 basis points, and it kind of signals that maybe they're going to pivot there in December and stop rather than move higher from 4.5 up to, say 5% federal funds rate. That'd be, another nail in the coffin, as it were. So we really don't want that. So that's kind of where we're at this stage. Obviously, we'll be looking at whether they're going to be print more money supply as well. Obviously, they've pulled that back since the beginning of the year. The M2 has basically been moved down and sideways. We'd like to see the M2 money supply being increased a little bit there. And obviously, maybe we'll get some treasury purchases from the Fed in the future during that recession time. Maybe they'll have had enough. It is a blunt instrument, remember, blunt instrument, and they are kind of boxed in. Hopefully, we'll get that pivot as well. All right, so cool. That's where we are at the moment. So let's jump over to the Hex on the other chains. We've got Hex on ETH PAL, and I know many people are playing on here. So the volumes are up today. Yesterday was pretty dismal, under $1 million yesterday, 1.9 million today, 28,000 transactions. Hex is all the way down now. We used to dominate ETH PAL because we were early adopters. And of course, we've got Hex down here at 4,004, so 4,000 here. And it's down. It's pretty much flat for the day. 53K liquidity in the top pair here with $1,500 of volume. Very small retail play, folks. But in any case, you are earning Hex every day. And this chain seems to be performing better than the ETH Fair one. We jump to ETH Fair, which is this chain here. You can hardly notice the difference when I switch. But the differences are massive. The 24-hour volume here is indicating 13,000 compared to ETH Power, which is 1.9 million. And, of course, the transactions 2,821 versus 28,000. So it's a very different space. Hex is still dominating on ETH Fair. And, of course, we can see that the ETH pair here, number 7, is at 0001. So what's that? About 25% of the ETH Power price for Hex. Down massively over the last 24 hours, 32%. With a liquidity of 4.4 thousand in this particular pool. Obviously, there's a couple other V2 here as well that has a bigger pool, 2.5 thousand, but only 1,000 in that. So if you add those together, that probably gives you the main bunch there for the US dollar pair. Obviously, there's quite a few trading pairs versus Hex, Hedron, etc. So that's kind of where we are on that one. And in any case, if you've got your Hex stakes, you're earning on all chains, and you just never know your luck. When we get in the bull market, man, maybe all these chains fire. Maybe only the Hex, the ETH chain, maybe only the Pulsechain fires, and maybe the ETH Power and Ethereum Fair don't fire. But in any case, you got them on every chain, and it's a multi-chain world now, isn't it? Multi-chain world. This is where we are at this stage. So it's kind of where we are. Let's jump over to Hedron. And of course, we can see on the 24 hours here on this pair, we've got 45 buys, 17 sells, 305K volume. So let's get rid of that. And of course, we can see where we are at this stage. Man. We've had to lower the support line. Remember, it got breached down here, So this has gone the opposite way. Could have gone up here and gone the opposite way here. We had some cup and handles and things like that. They all broke down. And down we came. And of course, we got down to a low today of 3,563. Ouchie. But we managed to defend the 3,400 line. That was probably the most critical line. This one here was a reset line. And of course, this one here is a longer term line here. So 3,400 still protected, still sitting in here. And we're currently at 3,658. And we're coming up to the Fed within a day and 17, 18 hours. So coming up to that, maybe we might get that rally afterwards. And maybe it might look like this, as you guys know, my beautiful drawing. Maybe it might look like might look like this. Maybe we'll get something that does something like that, possibly. At the moment, of course, we're struggling to get bounce, but we could bounce off this and go up there. We'll be watching this very closely over the next 2 or 3 days. Maybe the rally comes really late in the last couple of days. We will see. Maybe we got to find out, because there's obviously a lot of whales have already been able to mint their stuff and so forth. So we're gonna have to wait and see. It's just one of those things. All right, so cool. Obviously, we've got the same sort of key things coming up here: the interest rate hikes, the inflation, and then of course the Hex HSI bonanza. Over 67,000 T-shares and 2,500 HSIs on the first day, and of course a massive amount of the T-share percentage, 0.64% of T-shares. That's a huge number. And like I say, maybe we'll get some wild cards with whales. We've obviously got Polymaximist. Hopefully we'll have Polymaximist launched by maybe the 3rd, minting on the 3rd. Expect the audit back on the 2nd, And obviously, we're going to talk about that now with the Polymaximist launching. That's part of the title as well, Polymaximist Public Test. And Hex Huddle, I know you're out there. You're trolling my channel with my mistake that I made, but we're going to move on from that. So here he is. Here's how it goes. The HSI auction data there is up and around. Of course, you can find us on hexmodel.com with all the HSIs up for grabs. Here are the top ones. And of course, look at the ones with the 10x bonus, that 5,555. That is 10x bonus in there. So that's a pretty juicy one. That'd be pretty valued up. There'll be a lot of people competing for that. And then, of course, you've got all these other ones. They don't have any particular Hedron bonus. That gives you just that little bit extra value in there. And, yeah, way to go. So that's kind of cool. We can see that that first day is going to be really juicy, the 13th there, US time, 14th down time for the rest of us down under, other places in the world. That is what's coming up there. Pretty nice. You can see most of them don't have any bonuses in them, but we've got 10x bonuses, quite a decent amount of 10x bonuses in there and so forth. So that's kind of it with that big, the big juicy top one there. So that's pretty cool. Then, of course, we're going to have, there will be auctions every day and bidding going on there by the whales. Obviously, the wildcard with the Origin account, as I said to you, maybe that's a kind of a dream state where the Origin account bids and wins and, of course, keeps that off the market for good, makes Hex inflation lower, both in T-share terms and in Hex terms as well. Maybe that's a better global outcome for people. But in any case, there will be people bidding, including the Polymaximist team. And, of course, Polymaximist has launched, well, is in the process at least of launching their launch here. I'm just going through some of this here. 2 hours ago, Polymaximist launching public testnet. Get Pulsechain testnet to participate in the test. So that was on there. And 13 days, it was 1 hour ago, 13 days until ICOSA HSI liquidation auctions. 526 million Hex, 67,000 T-shares. Obviously, it's gone up a bit now since my numbers there. Get your Hedron ready to mint Poly there. So that's pretty cool from the Maximus team. And of course, here it is announcement. Polymaximist public testnet phase is live. You have 24 hours to test mint your Poly on Pulsechain testnet there. So it's pretty cool. I might post the copy of that in the chat there, just in case you want to check that out. That is the testnet there if you want to play that. How to get Hedron? You can obviously get it from the faucet there and then swap a Pulse for Hedron on the testnet there as well. So you can find that down below. So it's pretty cool. And of course, Hex Steiner, that's pretty excited. Do you have your Hedron ready? And of course, will we see that Hedron? Will we see any buy pressure in here? The second phase, as I called it, as well. So that's kind of we'll be watching out for that. There could be some nice gains that happen if that does happen, right? So once we get on the other side of the interest rate hike, they're pretty exciting. In any case, here we are. We've got the Polymaximist DApp. So I'm going to click claim on here. We're going to put some in here. We could go max, I guess. I'll make sure that I'm on the right chain before I do anything. Yeah, I'm on the Pulsechain testnet 2B. We've got quite a bit of Hedron here. Much of Hedron we got. We've got a lot, haven't we? 114 million Hedron. It's not too bad, I think. So let's go. Let's do 10 million Hedron. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. That's 10 million. And it looks like people have minted 20 poly supply so far. It says we'll leave it 90% on the bid there. You can see the bid there. It's got this. The HSI bid budget is the percent of Polymaximist treasury Hedron that is allocated towards bidding on HSIs. This number is calculated based on Poly minted weighted average vote of all minters. The remaining Hedron will simply be staked via the ICOSA contract. So cool. We're happy with that. We'll go 9%. Approve minting. Polymaximist needs you to approve. Now, I did this the other day when we did the testnet as well, but I have to do it again because it's reset everything, right? So let's click the approve here, and we're going to approve spending our Hedron so that we can mint this Poly. So it's a two-step process. Fortunately, it's on the testnet there, so it's going to cost us next to nothing. So cool. Cost us 0002 test polls there. So it's processing along on our wallet. Obviously, we've got Hedron in the balance here. Let me just zoom in on this so you can see that a bit bigger. Hopefully that will... they're going to scroll. I'm sure that's scrolling there. Maybe we've got the wrong button here. No, that's not letting me scroll there. So we've got the bonus. We've got no Poly at the moment. So let's put in our Poly. I think we've got 10 million maxi. Now we've got that. So mint 10 million, net mint 10 million Poly. So let's do that. The Poly supply is 47.54 billion is the Poly supply at the moment. So people are testing it on the testnet there. And it's pretty much like burning my Hedron because this is my testnet Hedron. Everybody knows that I'm competing with Brennan for world global domination on PulseX. That's pretty much the ways it goes. I had to switch all my yield there. There we are. We got 10 million poly. Woohoo! And I can add the poly to the MetaMask just by clicking this button. That's pretty cool. So we're in the game. We got our poly on the testnet. Obviously, it's not real. We're waiting for the real launch. Maybe that will happen on the 3rd. It's kind of where we're at this stage. So it's cool. Let's go to I'll pull the wallet up there and see whether we've got the wallet here with the assets. We can see my interaction with the contract there and the approval of the Hedron spin. But let's go down, probably at the very bottom. Yeah, we got our 10 million poly. Nice. Is that 10 million or the 1 million poly? I got 1 million poly there. I'm not sure what happened to my 10 million. 1 million poly in any case. Maybe it's, I don't know why that's not showing, but definitely got my 10 million poly here. Let's have a look on this one again. I'm not going to hold up with this, but definitely got the 10 million there. It's probably under a different token. Maybe it's under a different token address there. So that's kind of cool. We just did that. So that's operating. You can go and do that yourself. There's the details posted in the chat there. Very, very cool. All right, cool. We're going to get into the airdrops in a second. But before we do that, we're going to come back to the comments and see who has arrived in the chat there before I get too ahead of myself. We've got a few free claims on at the moment, so we're going to talk about those. Hopefully everyone likes free claims. This is crypto after all. Welcome to the world of free crypto, free money in some ways. Big Hoona's in the house there. Good to see you, Big Hoona. Dave down says, I just come to visit too, says Dave. That's nice, man. We appreciate that. Christian says, I tried to claim the Poorpleb and it says I'm not eligible. It can't be because the MetaMask that I'm using for it, before I sacrificed less than 1,000 on a few projects. Yeah, I think they've had a few issues there. Now, we have got some comments in our Discord under new token channels chat there from, I think it's from from Bets and Crypto. I'm just trying to scroll back up here to, there were some issues up here. Yeah, so Bets and Crypto there. So some people may have some issues there. If you are struggling to claim even though you should be eligible, try the following steps. Windows users should Control plus F5, Control plus H. Make sure all Poorpleb windows are closed when doing this. Remove cache and web data for the past 24 hours. Little trash bin icon to the left. Try again on the Mac OS. If you're having issues, Command plus Shift R or Command plus Y. Same story as above. So that's if you're having some issues there. So it's pretty cool. Thanks for Vets and Crypto for dropping that from Telegram. What do you need to do to have done or to claim Big Peb? And of course, hey guys, we are aware of an issue with the bulk send of the sacrifice amounts. The script didn't complete correctly, and some people didn't receive their tokens. We are investigating, and as soon as possible, data is collected, we will distribute the remaining tokens. So some people may have that issue as well. So there's two issues there. So just take them into account. But that's in our Discord. If you want to jump into Pulsechain, and our Discord links in the video description, go to new token chats there and just scroll up to Vets and Crypto, who's been dropping some really great info for people on the Poorpleb as well. So it's pretty nice. Now, someone also asked whether Poorpleb has been audited and stuff like that. So it has had audits, and also the Pulse Police have checked it. So if you're a bit worried about claiming it, Poorpleb has had that audited by the had it checked by the Pulse Police on Telegram. Airdrop to multiple sacrifice sets, so it's all the details there. And of course, yeah, they have basically checked that. So cool. And we've got that in here. Hello, Poor Police. This is a Poorpleb contract. We will not touch or recommend to friends until PP review there. So that has been tested there. So cool. So Bets and Crypto says yes, that obviously has been tested there. So you can check that out for yourself and so forth. So cool. No red flags there. Yes, that's from Sandy Beach as well. Just confirming that. So cool. So nice. All right. So that is the Poorpleb. So let's quickly look at the website here. So this is a Poorpleb website. Now you can get access to these in our Discord. Just go to Pulsechain projects and to airdrop free claims. You will see that there. So under airdrops here, you can see all the airdrops. So the weight free claim, which is open at the moment. The Poorpleb, which just opened on yesterday on the 31st. And of course the Poorpleb website, the audit, and the PPUSD, the actual trading. There's two tradings, one on ETH, one on USDC. That is the link to that. Obviously, the Kira airdrop's coming up there. The Texan token's on at the moment. That has a limited time, so you need to claim that in time. In fact, I need to probably put the date there, but that's you got to claim that soon. Pulse Kittens, of course, I just added that today. Only testnet free claim at the moment, awaiting launch. Multiple sacrifice projects will be eligible for free claim. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. They're covering a lot of sacrifices there. So that's kind of cool, the website and stuff like that. I'll try and do a video on that later on today, but it's really just on testnet at the moment. So we'll have a quick look at that in a second. So it's kind of CryptoKitties. So here is the free claim. And so you can click the claim button. What happened there with the claim button there? Let's see. Some people are having some issues with it. Like I say, you might have to refresh as per those, those updates in the chat there. So you may have this first one up here. You may have to do the refresh there, which is on Mac OS, which is what I'm using, Command plus Shift plus R or Command plus Y. Same story as above there. So Command plus Y. I'm not sure if I've got that on there actually. So let's have a look. So I've had some issues there. Yesterday I didn't have any issues and so forth. So cool. That's not the one I want to look at there. So let me have a look. I'll have to do it after the live stream. But those are some of the things that you can use there. All right, cool. So that is Poorpleb. What else there? I think we've got on the Twitter here as well. We'll quickly pull up the Twitter. And that is open as well. So 19 hours ago, Poorpleb has officially launched. There's the official contract. You have 69 days to claim it. It's about 1.4 million PP per claim. So if you had a lot of Genesis wallets where you did just do little sacrifices, you're gonna be able to accumulate quite a bit of PP there as well. So it's gonna be pretty cool. So talking about that, of course, let's get back to the chart here for the Pulsepleb there. We're gonna actually jump down here and talk about, since we started talking about it. We got the price here for Poorpleb. Let's go to the hourly chart here. This is the hourly chart. We started off, you see, got pretty high there. We got to 401,464, so 14,600, let's say. We got down to 5,000, got back up to 9,000, and then down to here for briefly about 6,000. Now we're currently at 7,400 with 4 zeros in front of it. So it's kind of where we are with the Poorpleb. So it is launched. It really is for Poorplebs. If you're a rich pleb, you probably won't qualify for that. Just remember that. So that's cool. Wookie says Kiwiland rocks like Hex Pulse. It does indeed. Blobfish King says, all I got coverage in the middle of nowhere, so I'm happy I can listen to Superman. A nice one, Blobfish King. Airport is a shot caller. Yeah, that's true. Sandy Beach in the house. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. Tail 7 as well. Good to see you as well. Tail 7 says believes that there'll be strong support for Hex at 4.2 cents. It's kind of where we are at the moment, so we'll see whether that's going to get tested there. Like I said, I think 3.8 that'll be a 61.8 retrace. That seems a reasonable support level, but maybe 4.2 holds up there. We've just got that pressure of the Feds coming up there, and Hex is a bit shy. Hex is a bit shy, as I say in my video there. So cool. Now we've obviously got the poll on at the moment, so we're going to end the poll and have a look at the poll. And yesterday I did a poll and I forgot to end the poll. Isn't that funny? That's hilarious. I know you guys love that humor. Will you claim Poorpleb free claim? 46% said yes, 6% said maybe, 20% said no, and 6% said not eligible. I'm a rich pleb, lol. That's 6% there. So if you're a rich pleb, congratulations. 64 votes. That's pretty good. So nice. I'll put one up. I could put one up for Poly as well, I guess. The future is ours, says Rothko. That is true. Accidecimate says, the Superman, the mighty streamer, thanks for everything you do for the community. Hey, you're welcome, man. It is a pleasure. And I'm trying to get the right balance. It's funny, when you're YouTube, you got to get the right balance. So it's constant battle there. What else there? We'll just go jump through some of this. Brendan says, what mistake did you make? Yeah, good one, Brendan. Good one. I know what you're trying to do. Sandy Beach says, Poorpleb will be dropping the tokens for the sacrifice as soon as possible, according to Hexy Bastard. Yeah, so right. Well, we are family channel, but that is his name, so we'll just read it as is. Bob Wells says, I'm a real Poorpleb. I got over 12 million, says Paul. Well done, man. You must have had a few Genesis accounts. Let's go, says Briz. Hey, good to see you, Briz, in the house as well. Man, you're doing some good comments on Twitter lately, Briz, getting a lot of following. You are a Twitter influencer now, that's for sure. Good to see you, Briz. A Poorpleb is a disaster. Let's just collectively admit it now, says Monterey Gun. Yeah, well, they've certainly had some issues with the claiming. That's for sure. No doubt about that. There, I agree with that. I sacrificed with the pools. There's Sandy Beach. Nice. What else there? Rothko says some are definitely plebs. Let's hope they don't stay poor. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, BEW. Are you claiming, says BEW? I'm not sure, BEW. I like to leave it for a while before I claim. It's just one thing I do. I don't like to rush in and claim. Now, everybody has to do what they're going to do, right? So you guys have to do what you're going to do. But yeah, I'll probably be claiming, but I just haven't claimed yet. So yeah, it's just the way it goes at the moment. Claiming is different than sacrificing. That is true. The claiming is free. That's pretty much it. Sarah says first time hearing about it. That's all right. What else we got there? I'm just going to show some of these. Sandy Beach is a princess pleb. I like that. That's pretty funny. Hex Down says, bought me some pleb coin. If Dodge and Shibu can pump, why not Poorpleb? That's true. That's true. I am a sacrifice DGen, says Bob Wells. BW says, I'm on the fence. Yeah. All right, cool. Hey, do we have Michael in there? Hey, Michael, good to see you. Michael says, hello all. Good to see you, Michael, as always. Don't want to miss that one there. Brendan says, I like you, Superman. I let the plebs claim first, lol, says Brendan. Yeah. And Pop's laughing about that too. I think it's about Sandy. Sandy makes people laugh. All right, so cool. That's where we are on the Poorpleb. I think the chart's doing okay at the moment. No surprises there. They are having some technical issues with the website and with claiming and stuff, but it looks like they're going to try and fix it up there as well. So we'll be watching. I mean, the website's pretty cool, right? I like the website. The website's pretty funky. The old black and white there with reds. That's pretty cool. Now you can obviously claim there as well and so forth. So cool. Yeah. What else? I think is that it? I think so. I think we're going to jump over there. Now, Pulse Kitties. Before we get to Pulse Kitties, let's talk about the rest of the charts, though, in the airdrop pool. We've got Pulse Dodge Coin. And, of course, this at the moment is – actually, I didn't even bring up the website for Pulse Dodge Coin. It's embarrassing. But we've got $6.97 at the moment. It's still got the uptrend intact with the old – actually, it's breached that now. So maybe I'll just have to line that up a bit better now. Let's try and get that sort of lined up there. So it actually breached that support there, but did go back over it, so it's kind of held. But anyway, that's kind of our trend there. We've got a lower angle now, right? So that's pretty much, I think, reflective. We've pretty much been stuck around this price here at $6.91 over 3 days in a row. So that's kind of where we've got that support there at the stage. So cool. We got two things going on with the Pulse Dodge coin: the transform to asset tokens, which you need for mining Pulse Bitcoin. And probably ultimately Pulse Litecoin as well when it launches. We've got the asset token miner as well, which is limited to 30 days and 60 days. After the 60-day period on the, I guess it's the 20th of December, we will have we'll have the final count for Pulse Dogecoin, whatever's left for that meme coin. So now, interesting, will the whales accumulate that afterwards? So we're going to see will the narrative for that meme coin hold up. We will see as well. It's going to be far more scarce, and that is definitely true. So cool. But we also will be competing, I guess, with the Pulse Bitcoin and Pulse Litecoin narrative, right? So it's definitely up against that. So cool. Let us put it up and let's start mining here. I'm not even sure I've got the right. Let me just jump over to the ETH chain here and pull up the old DApp. So let's see what the amount's transformed at the moment. Obviously, for every Pulse Dodge coin you transform to asset, you get 5 asset tokens. So it's a 1-to-5 ratio. We got 2,734,776 PLSD has been burned and transformed into ASIC. 13,423,000 ASIC there. 44.872% of all Pulse Dodge coin has been burned now. I mean, it's dramatic. It's almost heading towards 50%, but slowly over the last couple of days, although it does look like it lifted over the last 24 hours. It does look like it's had a little bit of a lift there. That's kind of where we are there. Now, obviously, people take their asset tokens and they go and mine with them. And, of course, they're getting a 7.5% reward rate at the moment with a 0.25% ASIC burning fee or mining fee there. And we've got 5,618 miners. We're up to 9.449% or 992,000 Pulse Bitcoin has been mined. And, of course, once it gets to 10.5 million, that would be halfway for the total supply. And, of course, that would be the first halvening would get triggered. And so no doubt, I think this comes down to 3.25% reward rate, if I remember rightly. But you can find it on the table there. Now remember, there is no Pulse Bitcoin in the market at the moment. There's still still 19 days to go before we see any Pulse Bitcoin on the market. So there is none there for trading. Don't go and try and buy it. It doesn't exist. You have to wait for the first miners to set up some liquidity pools if they're going to do that for a price. So at the moment, all you can do is buy Pulse Dogecoin for burning or to own. And of course, you can get some asset tokens on the market, which should be around a 5 ratio, 5 price discount there, 20% of the price of Pulse Dogecoin at the time on the market. So you can buy that on the market. Asset token miners, these NFTs, a bit like the What's NFTs, but a little bit different, is you can use any of these currencies. And of course, 1,949 ATM NFTs have been minted. Now, these people are getting asset tokens. So every halving, it gets less, but they still earn more. And of course, if they do become Pulse Bitcoin, Pulse Litecoin, they'll be able to use that for mining later on. $1.4 million from the looks of it, 1.4 million points has been grabbed up there. Now, like I say, what are they going to use it for? Is it going to be used for paying the devs and the products and all the rest of it behind the scenes? Or is it going to pay for that plus used for other things, maybe liquidity, maybe for buying the price on the market? Who knows? We'll find out there as well, I guess, over time. So it's kind of cool. What else? I think that's kind of it from the Pulse Bitcoin. Let's jump back into the other stuff here. We just have to watch and see where that is. Currently around $7. See where that gets rallied later on. At this stage, it should, you would think so, with 45% almost burned. You think it'll be price will be a bit higher than it is at the moment. So maybe after the Fed interest rate hike, maybe it has a rally. We will see. A little bit uncertain there because it's not doing it now, right? So just the way it goes. The Wait token airdrop which is open at the moment. That is down just under 0.4 of a penny. Nothing much happening here. Definitely stepped down though. We were sitting here support at half a penny. That has definitely broken down. So we'll just see where that ends up going. The Zen, of course, is actually had a little bit of a rebounce here. Surprise, surprise, surprise. A little bit of a rebounce here. So that's pretty interesting. And of course, still got 5 zeros in front of it, 7483 on the ETH chain. That's it. I've taken off the BSC chain. We're only going to be following the Zen chain. There are 8 chains. We're only going to follow the ETH one. Remember, that's a possible play. It's got a massive inflation at the beginning. It's based on log function. And of course, maybe well in the future, it is a possible play that may do well on a multi-chain strategy. We'll see. And we'll see what else they can build on that in terms of adoption. Like I said, it's a possible play, not a probable play, and we're more interested in probable plays. Let's jump quickly to the Pulse Kittens here. And of course, there's a testnet DApp at the moment running where you can pretty much get hold of, just check whether your wallet is qualified. Let's go and test that. I'm going to go to let's go to PulseX leads and check this one. I'm pretty sure this should work. Let's go check. Just get some random address of the whales. Whales, we love the whales. PulseX here. Let's see if this works. I'm just trying this live as a random thing to do, but we're going to do it. And let's check that now. Don't you love it? Congratulations. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Yeah. The whale, whoever this whale is, they're going to get 24,890 PKTTN. What the heck? Well, that's a big name, man. Pulse Kittens, their PKTTN. This address can claim 2 of the community airdrops. No way, really? Wow. Claim now. So this is on Pulsechain testnet. So let's. I don't even know if this is. This probably won't let me claim because it's not the real wallet. But let's see. It's only a testnet, so maybe they allow you to do that. That's pretty crazy. I think we might have to jump back to Pulsechain though. Pretty sure. Let's claim now. Pretty sure. Next. All right. Oops. Unable to claim. Yeah. So it's because I'm not the real wallet that's not letting me claim that at all. But there we are. So we've got another checker there as well. Most of PKTTN supply can be secured by the sacrifice phase. You can buy or sacrifice now. I don't think you can buy yet because it's only testing. But there we are. There's sacrifices on. Buy now. Don't think that's up and running either. So cool. That's kind of some of the stuff there. What else there we got on this? Some of the kitties here. What is this? Pulse Kittens is a new ecosystem launching on Pulsechain. What does it do? Pulse Kitten token can be used to mint rare Pulse Kitten NFTs that offer a yield boost to the Pulse Kitten. Hey, so before we go further with this, this is pretty much a Richard Hart Maxi channel. So this is where You obviously have to do your own investment, your own investment advice, but this channel is really the bulk of investment in our view on this channel. My view on this channel is that it should be in Richard Hart tokens projects, right? Or related stuff that's fundamentals for that. With a small amount for speculation and or playing in other things that you think that will probably do well, not possibly do well, although you could have a few of those, but probably do well. And of course, this is one of these possible speculation ones here, right? So just remember that. The Pulse Kitten token can be used to mint rare Pulse Kitten NFTs that offer yield booster. So this might end up being quite attractive. Obviously, playing on the cute little kitties. I know you're looking at these little cats and you're going, oh, little kitties, little cute kitties, stuff like that. So that's what it's going for there. When does it launch? Pulse Kittens will launch after the sacrifice phase ends. Why sacrifice? Sacrifice phase allows you to early adopters to secure the greatest share of the Pulse Kitten supply. And of course, they do have a listing on Pulse Hot List. So we're going to have a quick look at that. I think we can jump to there. Here they are. Yeah, they've got an 81 PLH score, PHL score, which is actually very good. So they've got a good score here. NFT project, reputable, but pseudonymous devs, no audit, open source. They will apparently have an audit when they go live. So that's kind of that at the stage. So they do have a pretty good rating. I'm surprised that they've got an 81 rating without an audit, though. That's a little bit weird, right? What would you, if you had no audit, I would put it down to 60%, right? Wouldn't you put it down to 60%? Yeah, I think 81's a really strong score, too strong until that launches, but it's obviously got a bit of support there. So yeah, I don't know why it gets 80. I would put this down at 60, and that's kind of where I would put that. So yeah. When you see these scores, folks, be harsh on it. Be harsh on the score. Say, would you actually score that like that? Because that's 81's a pretty strong score. If we go to all the leaderboard tables, we've got hex.com obviously at the big top here, and so forth. So yeah, see what I'm saying? 81's a pretty strong score here. Look how high it is. It's really high as well. So yep, too high. It's too high. It's a cool looking project. It looks very visually appealing, but just remember that. So obviously they're going to have NFTs as well, where they're going to get yield boosters. So that's going to be the play, right? That is the play for that. And the Pulse Kitties there, that's pretty much it. I think we've covered that. So when the official launch does come, we will talk more about that. But if you want to get details, just jump into our airdrop free claims, and you'll see we've just added that today to the Discord for Hex Token channel. Hey, how we're doing on the channel? We're heading up to 950 members, 914. We have had a few people come in that have tried to spam the channel or scam the channel or put up offensive stuff. We have deleted them. We're trying to keep it as safe a place as possible. And we have managed to delete them and keeping monitoring with the moderator team, which does a great job as well. So a big shout out for that. So if you like to talk about Richard Hart projects, or you like to talk about Pulsechain projects and the airdrops and Pulsechain project details, we've got everything on all of that. Pulse Police, Pulsechain News, with all the projects, 130 or so, then this is a place to be. So come and join us. Great community, great information. That's what we love. So pretty cool. Let's jump away from a lot of that. We're going to jump out of a lot of this stuff. And let me just jump there. Pulse Kittens there on Twitter as well. So that was cool. Pulse Kittens is now live on testnet. Go and test claim the minting. Over 500,000 claimable airdrops. Massive, right? Sacrifice ends the 14th of November. Join a Telegram. Now, the one thing I wanted to talk about that quickly actually was all the airdrops that they're going to be able to do. So they're covering all these different groups are able to claim the airdrops. Look, all these sacrifices that have been held, and all these projects are able to participate. So if you participate in any of these, you're going to get a certain amount airdrop to you. And obviously, the weight token, the Hex, the Hedron, and the Pulse Hex are big recipients of the airdrop. From the looks of it, if I'm interpreting that chart correctly. So pretty cool. I don't know if that chart is actually saying what I'm thinking it's saying. Find and retweet your community tweet for a larger airdrop. I guess it's the way it is talking about there with the airdrops. So cool. Maybe you have to retweet to get those big airdrops there. So it's pretty cool. There is a bit of a video there on how to claim. There's even got fireworks there. So pretty cool on the testnet. I'll be looking forward to that. Now, I was going to have to say one more thing about that website, so I should probably bring it back. Where is it? I'm trying to find the actual airdrop there. Airdrop. Let's go back here. These are the ones here. So Hex stakers that are staking the following. If you're staking Hex, Hedron, Icosa, you will qualify for the airdrop when it goes live. Obviously testing at the moment. sacrifices. If you sacrifice for any of these sacrifice, Pulsechain, Pulsex, Liquid Loans, Harry Cash, Pulse Hotlist, Fiat, Internet Money, Pulse Lorian, Power City, Mintra, Poorpleb, Hex Token. Now, if you want to get people interested in your project, what do? You airdrop to all the sacrifice sets, and that's pretty much what's happened here. So a bit of clever marketing there. And of course, if you're holding Maxi, Weight, PLSD, PLSB, Atcoin, Celsius, Watsa, Shiba, Floki, you can also qualify as well. So these guys, that's how you create a big community, is by onboarding all the people and all these other popular projects. So there we are. That's the way it goes. Welcome to marketing. All right, cool. I think we've covered all those. We're going to quickly have a look at BNB Pot, which is our speculative spotlight play, the world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. And what are we up to here? BNBP, $12.38 on the price. Not holding up pretty nicely now. Finding good price support here in this range. So nice action there. I'm going to quickly bring up the website just to see what the airdrops at the moment. Obviously, this, we're focused on the staking side of this. If you're staked, and at the moment, 73.33% of BNBP is staked, which is terrific amount there. Oh, it looks like the lottery's been played out, so someone's won a lottery. Every week there's a lottery, or it gets called as a public function there. It looks like someone's doing that. The burn has also been burned, which means that there's less supply in the market. So we're obviously having a burn in the airdrop. There's been associated too. So I'm not exactly sure what's happened there. So that's pretty interesting. Let's just jump over to the chart and check out why that might be with the old update there. Let me just scroll up to the top here. We're doing 57 minutes, not too bad. Let's have a look at the Pulse BNB, and we're going to have a look at the contract, see what the burn is at the moment. It's tracking quite nicely. Wow, nice. 999,239 BNBP and now in supply. So almost got that first 1,000 BNBP burned off. 2,315 holders at the moment. So that's pretty cool. Let's have a look at the top holders at the moment. We've got the Teams wallet. We've got the participation wallet. And then some other larger holders there. Obviously, we've got the big whale that how it controls 26% of the supply. I don't know. I think they're mostly staked. I need to go through all those contracts, but that's pretty much it at this stage. So cool. Now we're expecting probably the launch of the roulette wheel coming out maybe in about 2 weeks, is my guess, somewhere like that. We'll be looking forward to that. That's going to be increasing the revenue, increasing the burn, and increasing the airdrops, and of course the lottery too. So just a win-win-win there from the looks of it. I think that goes in the lottery from all the profits. So yeah, not sure how that profit play works. I think it's pretty similar though with the tokenomics. So cool. All right, cool. We're going to jump away from that. That is pretty much it. Let's jump away from all that. We've got the Hex daily stats coming up there. Before we do that, let's get rid of some of these other things that we don't need anymore. We'll get rid of all that. And excited for Hedron. Hedron now 3755. Oh, making a little bit of a move at the moment while we're live on air. Isn't that cool? And Hex at the moment at a little bit green too. 4.25 cents at the moment. Is finding a little bit of support, that 4.2 cents. So we're going to get hold that off. We have got that Fed rate coming up though. So we will be watching that. Fed rate is in 1 day, 17 hours and 30 minutes. It's definitely coming up closer there. BTC at 20,500, holding on, but will it fall and go down in 2 weeks' time down to 14K? We will see. 14K and pray, as we say. 14K and pray. Right, cool. We've got the Hex daily stats coming up there. Day 1,064, hot off the press. Before we get into that, we're going to catch up on some of the comments in the chat though. And let's see who else is around. Got a couple more comments. So let's see. Boy, quite a few comments since I was commenting on this here. I think we definitely got up to Sandy Beaches, Princess Pleb, and we got to Hex down under there. We definitely got up to there. Uncle Will says, I claimed last night, waiting for the sacrifice distribution, says Uncle Will. What else there? Hex Down Under says, what cool things is Superman going to buy when he sells some profits at the top, says Hex Down Under. Yeah, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Maybe a Tesla car there, Hex Down Under, maybe a Tesla. I hate the peach. I hate the peach. You mean you prefer beaches? You hate the peach? Tom Boston House, does anybody know if you sacrifice for Poorpleb, will the airdrop on ETH or only on Pulse? I'm not sure that yet, Tom Boss. I think it's definitely Pulse. So yeah, I'm not sure about an ETH, the East part of that. So I'm going to have to check that out myself. A crypto tycoon house there. Sorry, I'm late. Just got off from work. It's better late than never. And Bob Wells says best to ask in the PP Telegram. Yeah, that's probably the best place to go there for that. Yeah, I've asked lots of people asking the same question, so I guess I'll wait and see. So far, all I can see is that it's Pulsechain. So that's the only thing I can confirm here. If people buy the ASIC token, can they use it right now for minting? Yes, they can. No, so if you buy the ASIC token now, you can mint straight away. You can go to the DApp and start mining. Sorry, start mining, not minting. If you're buying the NFT, the ATM NFT, you get the ASIC when you decide to burn the NFT. But like the What's NFT, you don't get that, and then you can start mining. So it's probably just better to, especially at the pullback of Pulse Dogecoin is down at $7, probably better just to either buy it or because it's basically probably a similar ratio, or buy Pulse Doge and burn it. So either way. There are the fees, of course. You got to approve the spend and then I guess mine it and stuff like that. So if you buy the ASIC token, you don't have to do the burn fee and all the fees on that side of things. If you buy the ASIC, as long as the ASIC price is 5 to 1, then you're probably doing better in terms of fees. That's probably what I'd say there in terms of just hitting the mining, proving the spend for the mining and mining. What else there? We got. I can claim Pulse Kittens too. Yeah, it's coming up there, Sandy Beach. Coming up there. I can claim a lot of kittens too, says Tom Boss. Win-win sacrifice has really slowed down, says Brennan. Yeah, I like it. Obviously, the team is relatively inexperienced and they are outsourcing the code. Those are probably the weaknesses, but the model actually might prove to be extremely popular. So we'll see. So basically, in win-win, people are foregoing 2/3 of their staking benefit for the chance of winning big lotteries. I think it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, something like that. So we'll see how that goes. The sacrifice itself is pretty much funding the contract. I don't know, the developers, I guess. Tombo says no doing any sacrifice anymore. Need PLS first, says Tombo. Yeah, I think most people are like you, Tombo. Most people are just waiting for Pulsechain and hoping for that dry powder. Hold that dry powder and stuff like that. My only exception to that is probably the Power City, and I did a video on that the other day. If you missed it on the Pulse Sacrifice, then the Power City is probably the best way for you to get Pulse. So yeah. Now someone asked whether I had a video on Pulse X, but really I think it's the same. It would be the same thing, just going through the Power City one. Why? Because they're going to have some of the top utilities and a very good diverse ecosystem that's going to buy Pulse for you with fees from other businesses. I think that's probably way better than any other strategy, including, if you can buy the dips, that might be a good play. But of course, these guys with their fees are going to be buying the dips too, right? So the Power City is going to be buying the dips as well. So that seems like the best play. There's a 1-to-1 at the moment. What else there? I believe the sacrifice open there, Christian, on the website, so you can check that out for yourself. It is on the website under sacrifice. You always have to do is go to our Discord, go to I guess you can go to free airdrops there, or Pulsechain projects. Either of those will have it, and you can just jump to the kitties there, and they've got the sacrifice there at the moment. So I'm not really talking about sacrifices at the moment, but the sacrifice is open, and you just have to read that very carefully. They got a 1 to 2.5x ramp bonus. Top 100 bonus NFTs, top sacrifice will receive high yielding boost Pulse Kitten NFTs, accepted coins, pretty easy site to follow. Sacrifice address, make sure you send it, ensure you have the control of the wallet that you are sending from, only send acceptable coins. So cool. Then you must have expectations of profits, etc. Airdrop to help spread awareness. They're going to be doing an airdrop to increase the awareness and the size of the community pretty much. So cool. That's pretty easy to follow there. All right, so cool. That's pretty much that one. Let's go back to X on that one. What else there? We've got a couple of the comments. Let me just. Brian says rewind. Yeah. What else there? Let me jump through some of this. We've got Lies Beneath in the house. Good to see Lies Beneath. How are you today? Very good. Hello all. Hex, EX, PLS, and PLX for the win. 100% for that, man. 100%. Jump through some of this. Hex is the GOAT, says DB. Hex is the GOAT. Yeah, we're on the Hex chart at the moment. 4.243 cents at the moment. Brennan says thoughts on what midterm elections will have on markets. Well, there's two thoughts on that, Brennan. There's two thoughts on that. One is that because obviously we're talking that on the 8th here, this 1 a.m. One is obviously if the House and the Congress goes to the GOP, and certainly polls are looking attractive for that, then you've got the House still in control of the Democrats. Maybe the market see that as not so good. But I think that given the policies that may come out of the GOP, which is typically more business friendly, that people may see opening up the supply side as well, right? That they might see that as a better for the economy. So that might be better as well. Obviously, depends on what issues are at hand and what the president decides to shoot down or not, and whether where they can rally enough votes in the Congress in particular, and of course then the Senate, obviously. But you've got to really get control of both of them at the moment. I kind of feel that the GOP will probably win 52 to 53 seats in the Senate, and maybe even on the upside, maybe 54. I have seen numbers as high as 58, but I probably think 52, 53, and get back control of the Senate, which is pretty cool. I hope so. So that's probably from a market point of view. So that's kind of where I feel that will be. I think they'll generally be more happy about it than the current administration there as well. We'll reopen up. Well, they can't overturn, presidential. I think I can't remember how many votes they need to overturn executives at 2/3. I can't remember, which they probably wouldn't be able to get that. So I have to double check on that. Fingers crossed for the midterms. I'm less concerned about I just want to get proper normal policies in the government, not the crazy stuff that's the radicals are putting in at the moment, and oppressing free speech. I want people to have open speech. I want people the best ideas to win. I want that's when we've flourished the most, when we have that. As soon as one party decides to impose their worldview on others, that's when our society turns into crap. And so we don't want that. We've seen that many times in history, and we don't want that now. Particularly now they control virtually all agents of state, and we want to be free. We want to be free. We don't want people indoctrinating and saying everything else is hate speech and stuff like that. So let's hope for the best for that. Right, cool. Let's jump away. With Hex at the moment is currently at 4.24 cents there. We've got Hedron at 3.75, having a little bit of a bounce at the moment, just while we're on the live stream, which is pretty cool. Let's have a look at the hourly on here. Look at that in the last hour. That pump's just hit in the last hour there, from 3.645 to 3.755. So a nice little green chart there on the hourly there. That is where we're looking at the moment. So cool. It is sliding up this new reformed support. So we'll see how we get on there. How are we doing for an hour and 8 minutes? Not too bad. Pulsechain Hurry says, Mr. Cypress, yeah, we definitely want that freedom. 100%. That's Sandy Beach, 100%. Oscar says, did you talk about Poorpleb yet? Yes, sorry, just joined. Yes, we have. We talked about that quite a bit. DB says government is slavery. Well, the wrong government is particularly slavery there, DB. Less government is better for freedom. What color? Tesla red. Yes, red, definitely, but it's more expensive, right? The red is more expensive for the old Tesla, but that's just the way it goes. But if Pulsechain launches and we go 1000x, then we'll all be buying Teslas, red Teslas, right? Very nice, says Brennan. Very nice. Yeah, cool. Let's play a little bit of play from here. We are looking forward to Richard Hart's stuff here, so I think it's going to be cool. Hope you guys had a good Halloween party wherever you were. And there's some cool pictures of places on Halloween on Twitter the last couple of days. So I thought it was pretty cool. All right, let's listen to a bit of Richard Hart around Pulsechain. It is coming. We're just going to be a bit more patient. Hopefully it's sooner than later now. We're doing the simpler. I mean, really, it should be relatively simple doing the ETH proof of stake fork. And when I say relatively simple, you would think it shouldn't take too long. Just around amount of time. I don't know how many, 6 weeks, let's say, 6 weeks to set things up, to adjust things. The team has been spending a lot of time on the BSC chain, so they should know a lot about blockchain by now. So hopefully we'll get that too.
I feel that the security considerations for Pulsechain's consensus strength are very, 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 very similar to Ethereum 2.0's. If that makes sense to you.
Makes sense.
We're forking Ethereum 2.0, not Ethereum 1.0. So you beat it out of me, you fucks. You wore me down, okay? So the logic was, do we have more faith in the BSC consensus, which we found flaws in, or rotating to several other options of not very well audited consensus, or the extremely well audited Ethereum 2.0 consensus? And my logic is that if you're going to make things right, doing them during a bear is a beautiful time to do it. And I think it will be quicker to use Ethereum 2.0's consensus than to properly audit and secure Corellia, which is a version of Click, which is what has a lot of problems. And so it was maximum secure and minimum time to market, because we didn't know, like, you didn't know whether the merge was going to work right. Could have not worked right. And you didn't know if they'd ever get to doing it, because the delays were nearly endless. Yep. But after they did it, and after it worked right, it was the obvious choice. And so Pulsechain will have upgrades, but be primarily the same consensus mechanism that Ethereum 2.0 uses, but is now called Ethereum 1, right? Like, no one called it's not. Right. Ethereum 2 is now Ethereum 1 since the merge worked. So it's strong. It's safer, it's faster, and any upgrades that come in the future for Ethereum, such as sharding, we will get on our chain. And we wouldn't have got had we stayed with Ethereum 1, because the forks would have diverged. And so it's just better. So we're doing what's better, and it didn't take us any extra time to do it. So it's actually good news. But I got savaged so hard for giving you guys an update last time that, like, I'm super not into it. Like, I feel
Anyway, so mutinous, I got rugged. I got rugged on the muted there. I got mugged. I got mugged and rugged. I got mugged and rugged on the mute. Anyway, so cool. Good to be back. It's funny, I put the mute on and then I forgot to put it on. It happens so many times. It's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, all I was going to say is that was Richard Hart's update on Ethereum proof of stake, and hopefully we'll have we'll have the B3 earlier than later. I don't see really no reason why we don't have it earlier than later. And maybe just timing. I mean, it just to me, surely it's going to be more market timing. And so yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't think it's really going to be waiting for V3 in March for the liquidity, but hey, it might do. But in any case, surely they can just do approximation for that and get us back up and running. So yeah, let's hope for the hopium. Hopium is good. Hopium is good. Sound is mooning again, says Tail 7. It is doing. Ouch, my ears, says Shano. Oh no. Yeah, it's funny. All right, it's good to be back. Anyway, it's good to be back from the mutinous. Hey, we're coming up to an hour and 15 minutes. I think it's a good place to finish after muting myself. And of course, we got Hedron there doing a little bit of a pump at the moment, 3755. Will it really do this pump into the XHSI? It's going to be fun to see that play out. And we've got that new uptrend, so we'll see. Hex at the moment, 4.23 cents. We've got about an hour, 1 day and 17 hours to go to the Fed interest rate hikes. So still a bit of time to go before that. We'll see how the market goes. Obviously, we'll have the stock market tomorrow as well and see how that looks. Also, let's have a look at the investing futures, actually, while we're here. Just before we finish up there, the futures are green for tomorrow at the moment. Whether they stay that way is another question. But so far, they're green. All right, cool. All right, take care, everybody. Don't forget to nice flagpole for Hex on the daily chart there. So it does look a little bit like that too. And what's that's I got it on log there. Auto, that's the auto log. So it's kind of where it is at this stage. Nice on the old chart there. Right, so cool. Good place to finish. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Get into our Discord as well. And we'll see you then. If you want to support this channel, hit the join button. We've got Pulsechain, Hexskins, and Rich Heart Club, 3 different type of memberships to support the channel as we talk about Hex just non-stop, and Pulsechain a lot too. That's pretty cool like that. Thank you, Hex Token, says Sandy Beach. Take care, all, says Lies Beneath. Later, says KD, definitely. All right, take care, everybody. Bye for now. I will catch you in the next one. See you later. Let's pull up a cool video, though. Before we do that, let's do play something fun on the way out. Let's do that. All right, bye for now. Peace.
54. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is already better.
Hart here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
Hart here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
Well, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. And occasionally I think back to that twerk, Richard Hart bringing his game. Well, I didn't make the sacrifice 'cause I came too late, but day one I'm still making it rain. Oh, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. Won't be long before I'm going to bed, wearing a roll There's so much to love about it, I can't pick my favorite. It's almost better than sex. Well, oh, I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. Might as well start with 5555, a financial suplex. Generational wealth is just a click away. It's a Nobel Prize worthy flex. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. A financial suplex, a Nobel Prize worthy flex. You better stake your Hex.